Dear reader, I'm Tony and this is Book Text. I'm back with a Friday Reads video to talk about the reading that I've done in the past week. But first, our word for the day is an entomological term, so it's used in the study of insects. It is the word antennation. It's a noun referring to the action of an insect touching something with its antenna. And I think it's a really funny word because maybe it's just the picturing, them touching things with their antenna. I don't know. But antennation, I don't expect you to use it necessarily that often, but I thought it would be fun to know that such a word exists. So I'm going to talk about what I finished reading in the past week, what I am currently reading right now, and what I hope to pick up in the next few weeks. So first, I finished a Tor.com free novella. Tor.com is Tor is a science fiction and fantasy kind of genre publisher, and they have some free novellas on their website. And I don't know why I was drawn there. I think I was looking for some science fiction to read one day, and I just found the novella The Martian in the Wood by Stephen Baxter. This is a kind of sequel to H.G. Wells's The War of the Worlds, and it was fascinating. Very atmospheric, very spooky. I really appreciated also the characterization. You meet some new characters and some familiar characters, and it was just lovely. I really enjoyed that. So I recommend checking out Tor.com for some free genre, especially sci-fi fantasy novellas. The second book that I read was actually also science fiction. It was Alphabet Squadron by Alexander Freed. This was for my space opera goal for the year. I wanted to read more space operas. And this is actually a Star Wars novel with original characters. So you do hear about things that are happening in the movies and the TV shows, but we don't really play with too many of those figures. So this is original characters. It is set 4 years after the Return of the Jedi, so kind of in between. It's technically called the New Republic era, and it's about a squadron of different pilots. Each has a different ship, so it's kind of an A-wing, a B-wing, an X-wing, a Y-wing, that kind of thing. And I thought it was so good. Great cinematic scenes. It talks a lot about the complications of victory and the, dealing with past sins. It was so good. It's a trilogy, the beginning of a trilogy. So I'm hoping to continue reading. I actually listened to this one on audiobook, so I hope to continue listening to the next one. And the third book comes out in March. So I'm hoping to grab that one when it arrives. Then I read 84 Charing Cross Road by Helen Hanff. This is a reread for me, but I actually read it as part of Sarah at Hardcover Hearts. She did a New Year's Day read-along because it's a very short book. But this is the tale of, first of all, a nonfiction tale told through letters of the relationship between an American book collector and a British antique bookstore. So I really felt keenly the distance of their friendship now that I understand what it's like to only have distant friends during the pandemic. So this was perfect timing. Thank you, Sarah, for doing that, for hosting that. Then I read 13 Guests by Jefferson Farjeon. This was a holdover from Cloak and Dagger Christmas that I didn't quite finish in December, but I finished at the beginning of January. It's a little known Golden Age mystery. So I found it was really good for lovers of Agatha Christie or Dorothy L. Sayers, basic Golden Age writers. It's the story of dead bodies at a hunting party. I thought it was cozy, very descriptive, kind of poignant at times, romantic at times, funny at times. A real gem that I wish I had discovered earlier. So great mystery that it kind of surprised me, right? I was not expecting it to be so good. Okay, that's what I finished reading. Now onto what I am currently reading. So I am participating in an Instagram readathon this year. It's hashtag 2021 Thomas Hardy. We're reading one Thomas Hardy novel a month, and there's a schedule laid out. And the book for January is Desperate Remedies. So I am reading that. This is the story of a young woman who has lost basically everyone in her family, and she has become entangled in love with a man who might be engaged to someone else. And in her kind of trying to figure out where to go in life, she becomes the companion to a middle-aged woman who appears to have a connection to this character. So it's a little bit mysterious, lots of intrigue, typical Thomas Hardy tragedy, and also beautiful descriptions of landscape and settings. And it reads a little bit like a sensation novel. I don't know technically if it would qualify, but it's really easy to read, surprisingly easy to read for a Victorian classic. So I'm enjoying that. A book with a strikingly similar premise is Elizabeth Fair's A Winter Away. Let's get that without a glare, there we go. And this story I'm reading for my goal to read more modern women writers. This was written in the 30s. No, I'm sorry. This was written in 1957, so not the 30s. This is a little bit later. But it's the story of a young woman who is spending the winter with an older female relative and her companion, and she gets a job for their landlord as a secretary. It's very quaint, very cozy so far. I'm not too far into it, but I'm really enjoying the writing style. This one is surprising me as well. I'm getting a similar feeling to when I read Winifred Holtby or Angela Thirkell or even James Herriot, which I was not expecting to lump together with those authors, but there's some sort of feeling that they create with their writing that is similar. And so I want to live in this book. It's that good. Then I picked up a book, kind of not planning to pick it up necessarily this year, but I decided to participate in the Invisible Cities project. And they are I'll put some links down below for that, but they're hosting 3 countries every month that you could read translated literature from. And so one of the countries for this month is Japan. And since I'm trying to read from my shelves, I looked through my shelves to see if I had anything from their countries. I do have a Japanese translation. This is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi, was my really good Japanese pronunciation. And this is the story of a time-traveling cafe. So something about this cafe allows you to travel back and re-experience something from your past, with the stipulation that things in the present will not change because of it. So that's all I know so far. It's not really, sucking me in. The writing style is a little bit clumsy. That could be an issue with translation, because I know that the Japanese language is beautiful. So this translation, I should say, is by Jeffrey Trusolo, something along those lines. It's okay. It's intriguing, and I want to keep reading. But it's not really sucking me in necessarily. Last, I am currently reading A Week in Winter by Maeve Binchy. This is just a book that I've been wanting to get to. It's my first Maeve Binchy, even though I have a lot of her stories already. So far, what I know is that this is about a lonely woman who returns home to Ireland to start some sort of guest house or hotel. And I'm listening to this on audiobook and reading the physical copy. It's kind of a fun thing to do when I have both access to both versions. And I'm just getting a really nice, happy, warm, cozy feeling from it. So I'm kind of relishing that. Now, I imagine that those books are going to keep me busy for the next week, but in case I finish something, I plan to pick up Village School by Miss Reed. I'm starting a new semester next week as a teacher, and this is about a school teacher in a small village, and I just thought it would be kind of fun to see what's similar, because I know this is another older book. This would be considered part of my modern women writers goal. Miss Reed had experience as a school teacher herself, and so she's writing from experience. And that's really interesting to me. It should be kind of, I'm hoping, a light read to add to January. And I also want to pick up Snowblind by Ragnar Jonasson, translated from Icelandic by Quentin Bates. So this would be another translated book. It's a thriller. It involves winter. That's all I know. That's all I need to know to be intrigued. So that would be one I could pick up if I finish more than one book in the next week. So tell me, what are you currently reading? What has made you happy this week? I think we all need something to kind of feel grateful about, or share the happiness with others. Tell me what makes you happy this week. And remember, there's always another book.